So people have actually turned this into a debate, Sam Sulek versus Chris Bumstead. Chris Bumstead being his first show back in 2014, Sam Sulek competing, like 2 weekends ago. So the question has been, does Sam Sulek's first physique appearance on stage beat Chris Bumstead's first physique appearance on stage? Now, right off the bat, this is an unfair comparison because, this guy has like elite genetics. Like, come on. This guy is way better than 99% of all the people who exist right now. Do you really think Sam Sulek can stand next to Chris Bumstead? Now, this is Chris's first show. I think he's like 19 years old here. Sam is 22, 23 years old. So we're still going to do the comparison, but I think it's a little unfair because Chris is down there perfect and Sam does have some flaws. First pose here being the side chest. Now, the picture quality is better compared to Chris Bumstead. This is a bit more blurry. Obviously, we can see more of a refined look over here with the quality, with the graininess. We can see more detail versus like everything on Chris looks a bit blurred. So these photos are like 11 years apart. So please be mindful of the fact of like Chris is just disadvantaged due to the worser photo quality. But the point's still going to stand. Chris downstairs, in my opinion, does beat Sam. Way better hamstrings. Sam needs to work on that. His quad looks a bit drier, but I don't know how dry Chris's quads actually are due to the lack of the picture quality. But we can see some glute detail over here that Sam is not showing. Going up to the upper body, chest is a bit more striated. Chest looks a bit more bigger, and I do actually like the way he's hitting this pose more compared to Sam. I would say Sam's arms are bigger, but Chris just has bicep, tricep, brachialis separation a bit better than what Sam has over here. And just overall, I prefer Chris in this pose versus Sam. So that's 1-2-0. Now going over to the back double, in my opinion, this isn't even a contest. Like, it's not even close. Chris smokes, decimates, annihilates our boy Sam. For one, Chris has a way better stance. In fact, I hate this stance, this like double calf flexing, but it looks way better than what Sam is doing. Now, Sam is not hitting this incorrectly in terms of the legs. It's just that Chris's legs are bigger and they look more impressive. And the fact that he's actually hitting this stance with both of his knees, as you can see, pointing outwards, is going to give both of the quads a quite dramatic sweep that you're just not going to see on Sam. Like, you can see this leg looks almost thin and shallow compared to like both of Chris's legs. So lower body wise, Chris, just the stance and just the overall development, a bit more glute detail, kills Sam. Going to the back, just a way better developed back. Sam looks a bit more grainy. I assume that's just picture quality. I don't think Sam is better conditioned than Chris, but due to the pictures, it looks like Sam does have a bit more graininess. Nonetheless, Chris's back is just overall more developed. We're seeing a lot more detail here. Down the middle, lats, lower back. This back at this point also isn't impressive. Like, this is 11 years ago, 2014. So Chris has a lot of work to do. Obviously, we know that he did bring up his back quite a bit and he won 6 Olympias. So the back eventually became great. But if you're just comparing this back to this back and just the overall pose, I like the flow of this better. I like the pose itself. I think there's a lot more development in the back here versus on Sam. And it's overall how Chris looks is just like way better. Chris has a way better X frame. Chris has a way better taper. Chris has way sweepier quads, smaller waist. For me, it's just not even close. Going over to the ab and thigh, once again, I don't think it's close like at all. So for example, you can see Sam Sulek's torso is quite short compared to Chris. Chris has a longer torso. For me, it's just a way better look and it actually gives the illusion of a better X frame. Chris has way better quads detail, quad size compared to Sam. Now, Sam actually does have very, very detailed legs. His quads are actually quite impressive. As you can see, Sam actually does have some crazy detail to his legs. For whatever reason, he didn't showcase this like at all on stage. On stage, his legs were fine, but we didn't see this detail. And this detail, I think, at this current level, comparing this to what Chris showed, this probably would have beaten Chris. But we can only judge what was shown on stage, and he did not show a level of detail on stage. Now, you can see the teardrop is actually cross-striated. The outer quad is cross-striated. I just think Chris is presenting his quads better. And just overall, like how Chris looks in the pose, it's called an ab and thigh. So Chris has a way better midsection, way better six-pack abs, in my opinion, way better quads. Although you might even argue that, like, we can even give Sam the conditioning on the quads. Chris just has way better sweeps, a way better look to the quads, way more development in the quads, showing abductor detail. Just overall, I mean, Chris isn't even in the pose properly, but you can appreciate the X-frame more. You can appreciate the thickness more. I just think it's not even close. It's not even a contest. Chris Bumstead is better than 99% of every single bodybuilder out there, including most of the open competitors as well. So to compare anyone to Chris is going to be an unfair comparison. Like, no one's beating Chris in almost any pose other than like maybe, I don't even know, maybe front double due to the lack of big arms, but that's kind of it. I mean, his side tricep is fine. Like, a lot of his poses are actually pretty good. Most muscular he can be beaten at because he just doesn't have a lot of thickness compared to an open pro, but Chris is damn near perfect. Sam has a lot of work to do. So Sam doesn't have the genetics of Chris. Sam doesn't have the potential of Chris, but Sam can do very well. Sam could do a lot of good things in terms of winning titles and turning pro and potentially cracking the top 10 at the Olympia. Like, I can see him cracking top 10. Like, if Matt Grego can crack, I think Matt Grego was he like 11th or 10th or 9th? He was in the mix there. I kind of see Sam having a similar look to Matt Grego. And if Matt Grego is up there in terms of being a top 11 Olympian, then I don't know why Sam at some point between the next 3 to 5 years can reach that level as well. Either way, I think Chris wins, and it's not even close. Yeah, let me know down below what you think.